Have you ever found yourself stuck in a cycle of reactive, emotion led parenting? Losing your patience, raising your voice, regretting it later. Just yesterday, I caught myself snapping at my daughter during a stressful moment, and afterwards, I felt terrible. It's a pattern we all fall into, but there's hope. You can break free. Imagine replacing those moments with connection, compassion, purpose, repair. Stepping up to those challenges with logic and rationale rather than emotional reactivity. Hey, I'm Dr. Andrew Smith. I'm a psychologist, a professor, a Tillman Scholar. Over the past 15 years, I've worked with individuals, parents, families, helping them overcome the challenges of raising kids, building deeper, stronger, more resilient, more fulfilling connection. I want to be honest with you. I deviate from my aspirational parenting vision so much more often than I'd like to admit. And from years of working with folks in the therapy room, I know that you do too. It's normal. Parenting's tough. It matters a ton. The stakes are high. And we get stuck in unhealthy patterns sometimes driven by our emotion. I created Rewire. It's a set of practical skills, tools that help people break free from negative loops and rigid patterns. Swinging between permissive and authoritarian parenting dishes is really driven by emotional reactivity, where we're not aligned with our values when we're making our choices about how to respond to the emotional roller coaster that our kids go through. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to engage further in this thing that we're building called Rewire. First, if you go to rewirewellness.co, and the link is in the description, there's a free guide that can help you start enacting some of the stuff I'll be talking about today right away. Also, if you go there, there's a free assessment of relationship health that'll help lay out the relationships that you have, the ones that matter, and the challenges within those so we can start to build a personalized plan for you. So today in this video, I'm going to cover 5 things. Here's the roadmap. Number 1, how do you proactively define your core parenting values? Number 2, how to align your daily actions with those values. Number 3, staying grounded through emotional highs and lows, the roller coaster. Number 4, how to embrace flexibility and forgiveness when you mess up. And number 5, how to parent with foresight, which allows you to avoid long-term regret. So let's jump into the first skill. Skill number 1, proactively defining your core parenting values. This is the foundation for being able to rationally, logically, and reliably respond to the ups and downs that happen in any child development process. Parenting with a purpose starts by identifying what truly matters to you, what you want to see reflected in your child. Your values, they can act as a compass. When parenting gets tough, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what qualities do I want my child to exude or embody? Second question, if my child described me to someone and I was a fly on the wall, what would I hope they'd say? And the third question, what emotional tone do I want my home to reflect, the emotional aesthetic of the place where we gather? Here's another opportunity for you to do on your own. Take a moment, write down 3 to 5 values that resonate with you. Maybe something like kindness, honesty, resilience. There's all kinds of places where you can write a list of values online. These values, they're actually going to guide your decisions and create a touchstone or an anchor point in moments of chaos where your emotions and their emotions are running wild. So this list of values, it's again a foundation for how we approach difficult moments with our kids, whether they're tantrums, boundary testing, broken trust, times when we feel spread too thin, or really frustrated and annoyed. By defining our values, we create this touchstone that we can come back to time and time again, so that when in doubt, we can act a value out. Skill number 2, aligning your actions with your values. Values, they're not only meaningful to inform your actions, but once you've defined them, you can in real time start working to align your behavior with them. Here's an example. Imagine your teenager or future teenager is venting about something unfair that happened at school. You want to balance your values of compassion, empathy for them, and resilience for them, for you. So compassion, value 1, it can drive you to connect emotionally by validating their pain. It might sound like this. Hey, honey, that sounds really tough. I can see that you're upset. At the same time, your value of resilience reminds you not to jump in and solve the problem for them. Instead, reflect and say, how do you think you might handle this? I think you actually have what it takes to work through it. So, this approach allows you to emotionally support your child, treat their emotions as valid, while also fostering the ability for them to develop problem solving skills, resilience in the face of challenges. You're modeling this balance between emotional connection and empowerment. Skill number three, staying grounded during emotional highs and lows. Parenting often feels like an emotional roller coaster. Your child's highs and lows can pull you along for the ride, but values help you stay grounded. When emotions run high, pause and take a deep breath. Recenter yourself by asking this: what does this situation actually require of me? Responding from a calm, intentional place allows you to model stability and resilience for your child, self regulation. Here's an example. If your 6 year old is throwing a tantrum, anything like mine can, about not getting a toy or not getting something that they want, you can balance empathy with honesty. You can say, I know that you're upset right now about not getting the toy, and it's okay to feel sad, but we can't buy it today because your reaction is not something that we can reward right now. This teaches your child two critical things. Number one, that their emotions are valid and deserve space. They just emotions, they are. The second thing it teaches is that there are boundaries in life, and not all emotions lead to a valued or desired outcome. That emotions can't be the driver, that goals and values could be. Learning this balance helps children understand that while emotions are important as a signal, they don't dictate or shouldn't dictate outcomes, and that actions have boundaries. This is a cornerstone of emotional intelligence and self regulation. Skill number four, embrace flexibility and forgiveness. No one parents perfectly. I sure don't. I gave you examples of how I don't earlier. When you slip up, and you will and you do, the opportunity is to embrace flexibility and forgiveness for yourself and your child. If you lose your temper during an argument, you can acknowledge it. Hey, I'm sorry for raising my voice earlier. That's not the parent I want to be, but we still need to talk about what happened. Let's do that. This approach, it models humility, accountability, and it shows your child that relationships don't thrive on perfection, and we don't manipulate with the mistakes that we make, but that relationships thrive on repair and forgiveness and authenticity and honesty. It reinforces the idea that mistakes are natural and can be resolved with honesty and effort, and you're modeling that. So, flexibility, it also means you letting go of rigid expectations. If a bedtime routine doesn't go as planned or homework becomes a battleground, recognize that these moments don't define your relationship. Adapt and refocus on the bigger picture, modeling resilience and connection. Okay, skill number five, parenting with foresight to avoid regret. When I built Rewire, I built it on really this idea. One of the greatest benefits of this Rewire values led parenting approach is how it projects us into the future. When a parent comes from a place of alignment with their values, you can look back without regret, knowing that the decisions that you made were rooted in intention, not perfection, and not pure emotional reactivity or panic over our children's ups and downs. This values led approach, it empowers us to take responsibility when we screw up, which you do and I do if you're anything like me. This process, it's crucial for your child's empathy development, for their self-regulatory development. It shows them the importance of accountability and repair in relationships. It's a skill they're going to need to navigate relationships, family dynamics, future marriages, and workplaces, friendships. By staying rooted in values, we cultivate a sense of stability. This benefits both our children and ourselves. And years from now, you'll look back confidently knowing that you parented with integrity and purpose with the information you had at the time. This long-term approach, it brings peace. This intentionality, it brings internal congruence, knowing that your efforts weren't just reactions in the moment out of overwhelm or annoyance, that these were conscious decisions to build relationships with your children based on respect, compassion, and enduring principles. So I'm going to close this up today saying that if this resonates with you, don't stop here. Seriously, go to our website, rewirewellness.co, download the free guide, take that free relationship health assessment. Don't forget that this is also part of a 4-part series on parenting, and that there are 3 other videos focused on critical mindsets, narrative crafting towards resilience and redemption, and also how a healthy identity for you as a parent is a critical foundation by which you respond to the issues and the problems that are inevitable in parenting. Thanks for joining and looking forward to building this. Subscribe to the channel, be part of what we're building here.